What is happening, you fantastic people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to listen to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. We're going to listen to the first track off of his album Lit Love In, which is Do You Love Me?, which was released in 1994. Okay, so I've heard of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. When the album Ghost Teen came out a few years ago, I really liked the artwork, so I got it. I'm pretty sure I listened to like a few minutes of it, and my mind just wandered elsewhere. Honestly, I wasn't in the right like mental place to listen to it. You know what I mean? Like I just wasn't ready. So it was kind of a very quick, cursory listen. So I'm going to say that I've never heard Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds because, a minute or two isn't quite a listen. I would call that barely an acquaintance, not even an acquaintance. So we're going to go with I've never heard of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I've never heard a track from them. I don't know anything really about their stylings. I don't know really anything about Nick Cave. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a listen, give this a whirl. Hopefully you guys enjoy the music. Of course, once again, the music will be edited in this video, but you can click on the link if you would like to watch my actual reaction. It's right down there for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Do You Love Me? Is this like Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars? Like, main person and then the band? Probably, right?
Well, I try, I do, I really try.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Yeah. I want more of that. That was I was not expecting that. That was fantastic. That was gothic tinged, dark cathedral, bells are going jingle jangle. To be honest, I thought he got in a relationship with a werewolf, but I gotta look into that a little bit more. This was not what I was expecting. Love the echoes of the organ. Love the fringed guitar, that nice fry that just kind of comes out and reverberates against the cold walls. Nick Cave himself sounds like a kind of creepier Scott Walker. Like he has almost like a if you were to take Robert Smith from The Cure, and I'm not comparing their voices necessarily, but I guess just the feeling I get. If you were to take Robert Smith from The Cure, make him just a little bit monotone, a little more not baritone but deeper, give him a different kind of emotional resonance, and I think you got a little bit of Nick Cave here. His voice feels like a cold draft with just a hint of warmth to make you think there's hope, but maybe there's not. Man, that was really great. The atmosphere that they build around it all, that's fantastic. Like I said, that's really primarily, at least what I feel, is the guitar and the organ. Organ is being played by Nick Cave himself, and the guitar is by Mick Harvey. Great combination there. Like I said, a nice deep gothic feel. It feels like this song has been recorded inside of an abandoned cathedral somewhere in the woods. There's a sacred sound, there's a haunted sound, there's a ghostly sound. But it sounds good. That's what it all comes down to. I love the harmonies that rise up in the chorus itself. It almost sounds like a what would you call a group of ghosts? A menagerie of ghosts. I don't know. What do you call a group of ghosts? I love that deep atmosphere here. The piano just rings out beautifully among the guitar. That's great. Listening to it a little bit again, it almost sounds like a slightly creepier blues song, right? Like if you listen to kind of the heart of it and some of these notes, they're twisted a little bit, but it sounds like a slightly more disturbing and slowed down blues track, which I think is really, really cool. This has a lot going for it. A lot. And that chorus is great. Love that echo in the voice. Love those snare hits that come in on the first beat of the chorus. I love the jingle jangle part because as far as I can tell, it pretty much changes in the way that he sings it every single time. Begins kind of calm, jingling, jangling. Then as we just heard, it kind of gets a little more maddening. And at the end, it resolves itself. That's just really cool. This is a great track. I would really, really like to hear actually a little bit more of this. That was really good. Let me know what you guys thought. I thought that was fantastic. So let's read a little bit. Let's get into the lyrics first. I found her on a night of fire and noise. Wild bells rang in a wild sky. I knew from that moment on I'd love her till the day that I died. and I kissed away 1,000 tears, my lady of the various sorrows. Some begged, some borrowed, some stolen, some kept safe for tomorrow. On an endless night, silver star spangled, the bells from the chapel went jingle jangle. So he's falling in love with some sort of forbidden love. Could be a monster of sorts, could be a demon of sorts, could be a ghost, could be a werewolf. I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking werewolf. At some part, it mentions her fanged shadow and hairy and mad. I think it's a werewolf. She was given to me to put things right, and I stacked all my accomplishments beside her. Yet I seemed so obsolete and small, I found God and all his devils inside her. In my bed she cast the blizzard out, a mock sun blazed upon her head. So completely filled with light she was, her shadow fanged and hairy and mad. I think she's a werewolf, guys. Our love lines grew hopelessly tangled, and the bells from the chapel went jingle jangle. Okay, so they're having a little romantic rendezvous. I love the line here, our love lines grew hopelessly tangled, because as they're doing all this stuff, their love lines, like their hand, like their lines, right? Like they're holding each other's hands like that, but it's also like their love lines. And then the bells are going jingle jangle from all their ring ring. Then he repeats, do you love me? Do you love me like I love you? She had a heart full of love and devotion. She had a mind full of tyranny and terror. Well, I really try, but I just, her baby, I err. So come and find me, my darling one. I'm down to the grounds, the very dregs. Here she comes blocking the sun. Not here comes the sun, here she comes blocking the sun. Blood running down the inside of her legs. The moon in the sky is battered and mangled, and the bells from the chapel go jingle jangle. So that's what I really like, how the story is progressing. And even though I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on, it does seem that this story is turning from dark to even darker. All things move toward their end. I knew before I met her that I would lose her. I swear I made every effort to be good to her. I made every effort not to abuse her. Crazy bracelets on her wrist and her ankles, and the bells from the chapel go jingle jangle. I'm imagining the crazy bracelets on her wrist and her ankles are like what? Oh my God, what are the words? Like she was chained, and she escaped. If she's a werewolf, this is just conjecture now. If she's a werewolf, maybe like he chained her up willingly, like they both chained each other or chained her up because of the full moon, because she would transform, right? And then maybe they also use the chains for some other things, like at the same time. Because there is a dark, subtly, not even subtly necessarily, but there is a darker, deviant sexuality kind of wafting through the air of the song. So I think maybe there's something like that. Let's read about it though. So I've read around and I cannot find like an interview or necessarily what Nick Cave's intention is in the story. So I'm not quite sure of the exact meaning. Perhaps you guys might know, or you might be able to fill me in. After all, you guys most of the time, and by most of the time, I mean all the time, know a lot more than I do when it comes to these songs. So let me know what you guys think the song is about, but let me know what you thought of it, because I thought this was darkly fantastic. But I'd love to read your comments in the comments below. That was redundant. You can follow me in a bunch of places. Hope you enjoyed the music. Hope you enjoyed my company. Hope you come back tomorrow. I'll see you then, guys. Bye.